Remember having a conversation here recently with a big Trump fan, and he said, Chaz, if you want motorsports to survive, and you don't want it to all go away, you better vote Trump. And I'm like, okay, the electric car thing, I guess you're thinking of that. But let's look at the facts of the scenario, ladies and gentlemen. Over the last 4 years in motorsports, we have seen, especially dirt racing, we have seen potentially the biggest boom in dirt racing history. Late models obviously started paying money out the wazoo. They had a Eldora million for the late model division. High limit is formulated. We have an Eldora million for the sprint cars. High limit has their midweek series. High limit starts another series. We have record payouts. We have record crowds in all of dirt racing history. And all that I just described to you as far as the success of dirt track racing in America, all of that occurred under potentially the most incompetent president in the history of the world, known as Joe Biden. Did you just hear what I said? This is facts. So you're trying to tell me that if I don't vote Trump, which I kind of still feel like I should, if I don't vote Trump, motorsports is going under the Democratic leadership. But under the Democratic leadership, the damn sport has become bigger than it ever has. So where is the fact in this opinion? It's not fact. It's bullshit. In my opinion, these leaders don't really do shit to begin with. No matter which side it is, they represent news stories and dramatics to keep you all wound up and paying attention to the forefront of the theater, while in the background, the ones who actually supply their livelihoods, the corporational communism that I believe runs America, works in the backgrounds and manipulates things. Everybody wants to talk about gas prices, for instance. I'll tell you some shit about gas prices. It's been well documented that my little 440,000 mile car and me started driving around when it was a 260,000 mile car. So I got about 180,000 miles of traveling in America since about 2018. Late 2018, early 2019. Pre-COVID and post-COVID. Trump era and Biden era. Now here's something that I noticed. Sirs, ma'ams, I do believe in the two genders. I drove so much at one point that I kind of knew the price differences between different states and regions. So I kind of knew that if I was in California and the gas was $4.50, that the gas in Iowa was $2.45, for instance, or 189 or whatever to 380. Or I'm just saying, I drove around so much that I kind of knew the gaps between the states. And see, for those who don't understand it, there's a federal tax on fuel, and then there's a state tax on fuel. And the state tax is pretty much what fluctuates the different prices between the states. And that's why gas fluctuates between different areas. Now, there are little subtle differences in transportation and availability that can make gas cheaper or more expensive in another area. But that state tax is pretty much what makes the difference at the end of the day. It's 80% of the reason. Let me tell you something that's happened while y'all been busy watching this puppet show on stage. Those gaps changed. Big time. There are states that used to be $1.50 or $2 cheaper or 40 cents cheaper than California, the West Coast, or Pennsylvania, or one of these big gaps, you know. And they're half the distance now. and I mean, I could probably go look all this up and it's factual, but I'm talking about anecdotal personal experience evidence. So when I say the gaps have reduced, what does that mean? Well, that means that while this puppet show's been going on, the real business over there in your big state legislators and stuff like that has been conducting. And they're coming and getting more money now. The gas prices go up down the street here by 30 cents and you blame Biden. While really it was that politician in the background and these people over here getting more of your hard-earned fucking money for no freaking reason or to supplement their idiotic spending. But if the world comes out on their news stations and their Facebooks and tells you that, well, then you might say, well, that's fucked up. Who did that? I'm going to get rid of them and their job. I'm not voting for that person. No. You're voting left or right, and here's a bunch of other reasons that don't even fucking matter as to why you're going to. And see, this is the biggest problem with right-left politics is that you're voting one side or the other side all the way down the line when really you should probably be a little more balanced in your decision-making. As much as you may be a hardcore righty, when it comes down to who upped that gas price and y'all were manipulated as to why, you might want to go in there and change that up on your local or state level. You may not want to be just voting Republican because they're on the same side and they got a Trump hat on. Because I'm telling you right now with experience, those gas prices haven't gone up just because of Joe Biden. That is a show, and there's a lot of those shows out there that are put on to simply distract you so they can pull shit off like what I'm describing. And you have no idea that it happened. That gas gap has changed, and it ain't based on supply. It's based on the demand of fucking you over.
But this is how we ride, this is how we do.